I'm Sarah,
I'm Lisa.
and we are the co-creators of SLP Toolkit. And so we just did a video where we talked about kind of the problems with R and treating it. And so now we're going to get into the steps. Let's pretend I can't say my R. I walked in and I said, Bobby, I want to put my car in the, oh, now I'm British. Okay, but it would sound like Bobby and car. That's what my daughter used to say, and it was kind of cute.
Are you saying Barbie?
Bobby. Mm-hmm.
Bobby.
I said Bobby.
I love when parents too say, "Oh, it's okay. It'll sound like they're from the East Coast or from London or Britain."
Well, that's not. Yeah.
They don't say wabbit in Boston.
No, not the W for the R, but for with the non-rhotic languages, you do. You have Boston or England or even South Africa. So those kids that don't want to work on it, and we do maybe go to dismissal, then I just tell them to move there.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, so.
Okay.
I can't say my ah. Help me fix it. What do I do?
All right. Step number one is you need to make sure their teeth are aligned. So a lot of times what you'll see is a little bit of an overbite or just that little lazy jaw posture. Yeah. And if you think about that, when you say the sound your tongue doesn't have to do a lot of work. You've got sort of just a neutral jaw posture there. So I have them work on sliding their jaw out so the top and bottom teeth can align.
Okay.
And then I have them work on maybe keeping it open a little bit for two different reasons. I show them that even if I make the I can have my mouth wide open. But for them, for purposes of just wanting to be able to see in there, but also to keep the teeth aligned, about the size of if you turn a tongue depressor on its side and have it there. And sometimes I use that to help with jaw stability to keep it open. So that would be step number one.
I think that's really good, and I love that point on jaw stability. I never knew that until I took a class at, I think, our local chapter's conference or something, where she talked about the importance of jaw stability. And I don't think that's something that we tend to focus on in any other R program. Mm-hmm. So that is a great first step.
And the next step I have them work on is their lips. And so a lot of times they have some rounding going on. So the easiest way for me is, instead of even just saying that to have square lips, to have them do the SH sound. Shh. So that's nice and open, square shape.
Perfect square, good.
Yeah. And for each of these steps, I forgot to mention, I work on them independently first. And that way I show the students that there are no excuses when we go to put them together. I don't want to hear I can't, because you showed me you can. So it's just a matter of coordinating everything to get it together to make the R sound. But you can do it.
Right.
We already worked through the steps. And it lets me know exactly what's going on with their articulators and what control that they do have. So we have teeth, we have lips, and the next thing is we talk about just that the rest is all tongue. And you have to make sure that the tongue is not in the front of the mouth, but it moves to the back. So we have them curl it back. Okay. I have the students work on curling their tongue back, and I'll even sometimes use a visual cue with my finger, how we can curl that back. And I don't even really care. It's about it being a retroflexive R. It's just about getting the tongue to move to the back of the mouth. Mm-hmm. And then I work on showing them that they can squeeze in the middle of the tongue like a K and a G sound. So I just have them practice what that feels like when I tell them to squeeze.
Okay.
Good job, Sarah.
Thank you. I'm going to get this ah.
And then the last step is to anchor. And so that is more of like a bunch R, but I really point out that they're using their molars and that their tongue is going to stick up on those back two molars. And the way that we get there for these students is they have to be able to flatten out their tongue, and I'll have them bite on their tongue. And not hard. I tell them that you don't want to hurt yourself. You're just biting down to flatten out that tongue, and then drop the jaw. And that way it'll stick, and we use that cue anchor, because you're sticking it up on your molars, you're anchoring it there.
That's a good one. Because sometimes I've used the tongue depressor to show them where on the sides of their tongue and what their molars are with the tongue depressor, but that's not really that helpful all the time. So I think that was a great tip for that.
And so we go through these steps not just to show them that they can do it, but then also this is what we're using for that immediate feedback as they have breakdowns when they're trying to put it all together. So once they've done all of the steps, you're really looking at each production and having them look at each production too. I always have the students look at themselves and not me, which is very unnatural.
Gotta have the mirrors.
You want to look at somebody that is talking to you. That's what we're taught to do. But for these students, you want a nice big mirror in front of them and have them looking at themselves so they can become aware of what their mouth is doing during this process as well. So we work on putting all of those steps together, and you're watching to see exactly what they're not doing. So as soon as they get all set up, you cue them, teeth, lips.
Because like just now, I'm going through the steps in my head, and I go to get my teeth anchored or my tongue anchored, and I lost my lips. Completely lost my lips.
So you might lose your lips. A lot of times the jaw recedes. So when I'm first working on the sound, a lot of times I'll leave the tongue depressor in so they don't have to worry about keeping their jaw out. But what's really nice about that too is then when they go to put it together, they have everything that looks good and they're ready. Oh, I fixed her. I'm so good at this. Check. No, but once they do that, then if it comes out correctly, awesome. And I have had some students that immediately, that first time, it's Other students will really need you to shape that sound. And so that is where the frustration will come in for students in the past. If it's just, oh, that's good, that's close. That's not helpful, specific, immediate feedback. You really need to let them know where they're having some struggles. Oh, you lost your jaw, or oh, you're not anchoring. Oh, you need to squeeze more in the middle. Pull that tongue back a little bit more. So every single time I have them try the sound and I provide that feedback to shape the sound.
I've been using some of this with a couple of my students, and we do have a student that we're hoping to get some video of so we can actually see this with a real live student and show you what that looks like. And then we will talk more about carryover next time.
And in the meantime, we have this all posted too in our blog at blog.slptoolkit.com, just /R after that, and you'll find our introductory post on this that breaks down those steps. And there will be a follow-up post as well that talks about how to move on once you've established that in isolation.
And thank you for watching, and we hope that this will all help you to be your best.